I'm Ben Hewitt. I am a child of God. I am a pastor at City on a Hill, Melbourne. I am an ordained Anglican minister preparing to plant a church in Ballarat. It started with a conversation with another pastor at City on a Hill in Geelong. We had been planning to go into ministry together in Geelong. It didn't happen. The dust settled on that, and so a little while later he said, actually what I'd love to do is plant a church in Ballarat. And I said, I've written records saying, I'm not your guy to plant a church. I'm not a church planter. I don't have any connection to Ballarat. And he said, I think you could do it, you're just scared. I guess over time gradually warmed to the idea of being in ministry in Ballarat. And if that meant planting a church, well, with the right support and the right training, yeah, we were up for it, we'd give it a crack. And so there was an acceptance that if I was going to spend the rest of my life in full-time Christian ministry, I needed good training, and that meant going to Bible college and studying theology. We've been living in Melbourne, we were at church in Melbourne. I wanted to train in the city that I was going to work in and minister in the long term, and Ridley was the best option available in Melbourne. I think the value for me of studying at Ridley was that I was being trained in the context that I was going to minister in. So I was being trained in Melbourne for ministry in Melbourne, and maybe even broadly now for ministry in Victoria. We were taught by faculty who were both world-renowned published authors, but on the other hand, relationally involved with their students. They weren't so lofty as to not be available for conversation. They'd be at morning tea, you'd have lunch with them. So I think it was that mix of excellence, but warmth and relationships that made, I think, my experience at Ridley an excellent first-class education. I think I went into college expecting to develop theologically. I didn't think I would come out the other end with a whole network of new relationships that I look at as friends for life. I think God has given me a deep love for His church, so there's been opportunities to get involved in some parachurch ministry, but I can't escape the feeling that the church is where it's at, that God is at work in and through His church primarily, and that looks like local church ministry for me.